All right, Seahawks were on the road last night to play the Arizona Cardinals, who looked like some of the dirt from one of the roads in Arizona had been splattered all over their uniforms. And let me start there. I said this yesterday. I don't want to say it again. And I'll give you a chance to chime in. As much as I hate the Nike-fication of the NFL, I kind of liked the speckled, is how Al Michaels called it. I call it spatter. It looks like the guy who was riding behind the friend who was rolling his bike through mud puddles, and we've all been there where we've come home and we're completely covered in typically water from being the second guy in a line of bikes. But the two observations I have beyond the fact that I like it are this. It looks like it's a different spatter pattern on every jersey, which is kind of cool. It's not the same thing because two guys were sitting next to each other, and I was looking real quick to see if it's the same deliberate random pattern. It looks like there's some randomness to it, so I like that. And number two, it needs to be on the helmet. You can't do it on the pants and the jersey without doing it on the helmet.
There you go. That, you know what? Oh, it makes sense now. Because I was looking at it. You said you like it. I saw that the Arizona Republic writing about the game says, hey, the best thing about the game was their uniforms. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like those uniforms. Something's missing. And what's missing, yes, put it on the helmet. It just seemed, it was like, okay, you got the idea. Something's there. It's not terrible. Don't hate it. But it's missing some element. There it is. And the other thing is, I've spent a lot of time in Arizona. So have you. Lots of Super Bowls there. Lots of big events there. It didn't say, I was like, what's it supposed to be communicating to me? Doesn't say Cardinals. Doesn't say Arizona. Doesn't remind me of anything. I don't get it, I guess. What's the uniform supposed to be? What am I supposed to be feeling from this uniform?
Well, you're supposed to be feeling that you want to log on to the NFL's official website, nflshop.com, and buy it. That's all they're trying to provoke.
Well, I wasn't feeling
Everything else is clumsy, clunky marketing BS. This whole idea of rivalries uniform that only one team in the game is wearing. It's a rivalry, and we have a special uniform for this game. Oh, what's the other team wearing? Their usual stuff. Well, this doesn't make any sense. I just think that it was the best Don Draper idea for saying and justifying another look that can be sold. And you see that there were plenty of people in the stands last night with their new mud-spattered Cardinals jersey that they can wear once a year if they choose to do so. And I think they have leeway to wear it more than once, but there's a certain number of times that you can wear alternate jerseys, and there's a certain number of alternate jerseys you can have. And pretty soon they're all going to be the Oregon Ducks, where every week there's going to be a different look between the helmet, the pants, and the shirt. It's going to be a different look, and you're just going to have to rely upon the score bug to tell you who the teams are. Okay. For a long time last night, Michael, I thought they may never want to wear these uniforms again because it was sluggish, it was sloppy, they were getting booed. When Marvin Harrison finally caught a pass, he got the sarcastic cheer because he had a horrible drop that became an interception in the first half. And then, momentum is real. It's one of the reasons why I say let's not completely turn football into an analytics exercise, because there is something to be said for a team collectively coming out of whatever dream state it was in and playing effective football late in the game. And that has to be factored into your mathematical formulas. Go for it, don't go for it, whatever other analytics-based decision you can make. The Cardinals clearly caught momentum, and it traces back to the Jackson Smith and Jigba holding penalty that took a touchdown off the board that held the Cardinals to the field goal that took the game from 17-6 to 20-6 instead of 24-6. And we heard Jackson Smith and Jigba on the open mic. That was the moment it all changed. That was the moment the Cardinals came out of their funk. You throw in a missed field goal, that fueled it, and the next thing you know, game's tied. So a very boring, sluggish performance by the Cardinals became very exciting if we just set aside the final 28 seconds.
Yeah, I said to you before we came on the air, it was an oddly entertaining game. At points of it, I thought I'm really going to struggle to stay awake watching this thing, and then it turned. Now, I'll say before, all the dramatics of the fourth quarter, the last 5 minutes, I feel like I'm missing part of the story with the Arizona Cardinals. Like I'm not a Cardinals fan, obviously. So if you're intimately following the team, if you've been tracking every single move of the team for the last several years, yeah, you get things that I don't get. I understand that. But the boos started to come early. So they were 2-1. Coming to this game, they're 2-1. They lost the game by a point to the 49ers. They're 2-1. They don't pick up a third down. It was 3rd and 2. They pick up a yard, and Jonathan Gannon decides to punt on 4th and 1. The boos come there. The boos are coming. They're booed off the field at halftime. I'm like, what am I missing? I know they're not playing great, but it's almost like it's not a boo of you should do better than that. It was deeper. It was, we have a higher standard. We have greater expectations. We're going places this year. I'm like, what is going on with these people? Was that weird to you? That they just seemed to be ready very early to just give up on the product?
Well, they've been living with a sluggish product for a long time now. And I think that the boos were a manifestation of, we thought it was going to be different this year. And based upon the first 2.5, 3 quarters of the game, it really wasn't different. They won 2 games early in the year playing overmatched opposition, the Saints, who we saw what the Seahawks did to them on Sunday, and then the Panthers, and they screwed around and let the Panthers get back in the game and make it look more respectable than it was. But you start 2-0, and I think it's also frustrating. Anytime you have that Sunday, Thursday turnaround, you lose on Sunday, and it's sluggish on Thursday, and you go from 2-0 to 0-2. I mean, 6 days ago, 5 days ago, this morning, the Cardinals woke up 2-0, and now they wake up 2-2. And I think that, if anything else, that frustration was a combination of the national media led us to believe, and the Cardinals, of course, did nothing to tap the brakes, that the Cardinals could be one of these teams that's on the rise this year, that crashes the playoff party. There was a time 20 years ago where it felt like every year they were the trendy pick to finally get back to the playoffs. And I think it was just the experts playing the law of averages. And then they had this look what I found Super Bowl appearance to cap the 2008 season, when they were called the worst division champion to ever qualify for the playoffs before they started winning playoff games one after another. I also think that big picture, small picture, I don't know what the hell they were doing at the end of the half, where they let the clock run all the way down to 2 seconds, take a timeout, and run a stupid little screen pass. And that was it. It just felt like, just like when the air goes out of a balloon and all that's left is that kind of floppy, darker than the balloon is supposed to be clump. Like, that was it. And what a way to go into the locker room. I think the fans needed that 13 minutes of a break to forget about what they'd seen in the first half. And it still took some time for the Cardinals to get going. I credit the Cardinals for finding the gas pedal, because they collectively had the demeanor of a team by the time we got to the middle of the third quarter that just wanted to get the hell out of there.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.